My name is Scott Colburn, and I played the part of producer on these two songs for Music Box. I do consider myself a producer, but I blur the lines between producing and engineering so that I don't work with an engineer per se. I have worked with engineers. I've had assistants in the past on other gigs, but the daily grind thing is usually just a one-man show. It's just me doing everything. The producer is very much like the director for a film, where it's the person that is trying to establish overall vision for the project and is trying to get to that vision as quickly as possible. But usually it's in collaboration with the artist to try to figure out what do they want to accomplish, how do they want it to sound. So I look at it as like I see the end result and I'm trying to make a beeline directly to that end result without like moving around like this. If I don't already hear what the record sounds like when I meet a band or hear them play one song, then I'm not the guy for the recording because I don't see the end result. I've done some well-known stuff, Animal Collective and Arcade Fire and Mudhoney and Prince Rama and the Nurses. But I've also done stuff that's a lot more underground and like what some might consider avant-garde or weird. I've engineered like 30 or 35 Sun City Girls records. I've played in strange bands. I've done modern classical and modern dance soundtracks and film soundtracks and that sort of thing. So it's like those are less popularly known, but to me are equally as exciting as far as end result and like how much time is put into the project. One thing that is really crucial to any band is like who is the front person and what is their voice like. It doesn't mean that the front person's voice has to be stellar, but it has to fit, and the front person needs to be dynamic and sort of pull the band with them, and the band supports that person. I can tell that she has a natural gift for singing, that it's like whether she admits to training or not, it doesn't really matter because like it seems natural. Let me put it this way, is that if I'm introduced to somebody and they say, well, I'm classically trained, whether it's in voice or instruments or that sort of thing, to me that means you haven't opened your mind yet, that you've learned this one way, but you haven't found yourself in your voice. And I'm finding that Music Box has found her voice. And so to describe the voice is difficult because anybody that hears it will say, she's a really great singer. But if I have to draw comparisons to, it's like, what does she sound like? It's like, she doesn't sound like your typical pop singer, nor does she sound like your typical blues or soul singer or jazz, but it's a combination of all of those. And it's like, I think that she would be able to really hold her own in any of those genres, but she chooses to do it in the rock format. And I think that that's really kind of interesting because in the rock format is usually not where you see really dynamic, strong voices being used. You find it here and there, but usually it's like it's a little less than what you would expect it to be, and it's okay. But this one, it's like when she sings, it's like that's all you're paying attention to. So it's hard to describe her voice to the average person of like what she sounds like. You just have to like play something and say, check this voice out. It's better just to do like little steps, like try one thing at a time, with your eye on the prize. Wouldn't anybody love to make a living doing stuff is very natural to them and is using their talent? So it's like the ultimate prediction is like, I think it would just be really great if Music Box and you just make a living doing music. And that's a tall order. it's really hard to do that, especially in this climate. But if I pull it back in a little bit and think about just these two songs that we've done so far, it's like that's at least two songs that people can hear. And presenting the world with two songs is a lot easier to digest than here's a full album's worth of stuff. And so what I'm hoping for these two songs is that we draw on any of her past fans of other things that she's done in the past, and we get them to hear the music through any means necessary. And through that, new fans come in because they was like, I really love this song. It's like, it's really catchy. It's like, I find the same thing with these songs too. It's that I'm walking around the house or, running errands or something like that, and I hear the songs playing in my head. So it's like, I hope that one day I turn on the car, I hear it on the radio, and I see people buying it through iTunes and other distribution channels. And then that leads us to the next step of being able to do more pieces, which leads to the next step of doing a full record, which leads to the next step of making a living playing music.